Good afternoon, French Lights, and happy Friday. Stupid dog. Sorry I haven't done one of these for the last couple of weeks. My Fridays have gone insanely mad over the last fortnight. But I'm back, and I'm here in another beautiful location with this wonderful rhododendron behind me. And I'm stood next to our lovely old treehouse. And the reason I'm stood next to our lovely old treehouse, so I'm going to have to throw a stick for the dog just to make her shut up and stop barking at me. There we go. The reason I stood next to our lovely old treehouse is because finally, next week in half term, work on this begins. So that by the time we get to the end of this term, this lovely thing is going to be restored to its former glory, and I am so excited about it. That does mean, kids, if you're watching, when you come back after half term, there's going to be a building site here. There will be fencing and a compound and all of those kind of things, so you don't go in building sites, you kind of know that. But it won't be long until this is restored to its former glory, which is very exciting. Another, in my opinion, and we're going to walk this way, and I'm going to walk backwards. So Joanne's going to tell me if I'm walking into anything. I'm going to do this entire video walking backwards. The other really exciting thing which is happening this half term is our new caterers. Thomas Franks are taking over. So they're actually taking over tomorrow when we have a wedding taking place. So they're in at the deep end. But I'm so excited about this change. I wrote to parents a couple of weeks ago with more detail about it. But the reason we're changing caterer is because I believe food is really important. It's your fuel, but it's also fueling your body, your mind, your well-being. And therefore, I think it's really important that the food that we serve you is really nutritionally balanced, is really tasty, is really healthy, and also is sustainably and ethically sourced, and ideally as locally sourced as possible. And Thomas Franks are going to do that for us. But students, if you're watching, there's going to be something that happens here, because even though I know the food is going to get better, I also know that there's a whole load of you who are going to say, oh, it's worse, we don't like the changes, because you're kids and you don't like change. And so I'm bracing myself for that, even though I know from experience how wonderful this change is going to be. I know that lots of you aren't going to like it initially, but go with us. We will want to hear your feedback. If you think it sucks, tell me that it sucks. Because I love hearing that from you, and we can talk about what you'd like, how it might be different. But new team is going to be on the ground. They're actually on the ground today, prepping for the wedding. But from tomorrow, and lots of old familiar faces as well, because it doesn't mean that everybody who is here is getting fired. Loads of people are staying because they love it here and they love you. So they're going to do really remarkable things in the area of food. Now I'm going to rack my brains as I continue to walk backwards and not walk into anything for all of the things Joanne reminded me I had to talk about whilst the dog barks at me and I walk backwards through the woods.
There's village prep.
Oh, there's village stuff in here. Let's go in here. So, first of all, when we return from half term, it's like carnage week for secondary school level. Obviously, junior school, you've had lots of your residentials this week. Year 6, you're coming back today. We miss you. Can't wait to see you. But senior school level, after half term, we've got the flood for year 7. We've got the village for year 8. Year 9 are off to the Peak District. We've got Noida for 6th form. And there's loads going on, and there's a fire that I'm going to walk backwards into. So this is year 8 who are prepping for the village project. They've got saws, they've got fire, they've got all manner of things that if you walk backwards are likely to cause a slow and painful death. What are you making? They're making pasta. Of course they're making pasta. What are you, is that dough? It's like proper Enid Blyton. They've got snippets of dough cooking over an open fire. What a wonderful thing to bump into. So all of that's happening the week after half term. And in advance of it, I want to say a monumental thank you to all of the members of staff who are going to be sleeping under the sky with the kids, who are giving up 24/7 to support this wonderful array of stuff that happens in this magical school. So that's going on. And if that wasn't enough, at the end of that week, we've also got the junior school musical, no less. So that's Joseph on the Friday and the Saturday when we return after half term. Tickets are going fast. I think there's a few remaining, and some evil parent block booked 10 for each performance that he doesn't need quite all of those 20 tickets, so I'm going to release those ones as well. But I need to work out who's coming. Proud dad moment. So that's happening. What else is happening? You said something about the Farnham...
The Surrey Artists Open Studios.
The Surrey Artists Open Studios. When does that happen, Joanne?
That happens from, I think, the 6th to the 21st.
From the 6th to the 21st of June.
Yep.
And lots of our own wonderful staff are involved in that. But if you have a look in that newsletter down there underneath me, then you will see lots of information about the Farnham Open Studios, and you'll also see some really exciting information about some events to bring parents together. We've got golf, we've got cricket, we've got a fair amount of beer drinking, so please do have a look at that and sign up. Not you, no beer for year 8, and sign yourselves up for that. That would be marvellous. Is there anything I've forgotten to talk about, Joanne?
I don't think so.
No? We all good?
we're all
In
good.
which case, may I wish everybody a lovely half term, and I will see you back for the second half of the summer term, which is the absolute best part of the year because it's also got Founders Day and new goats. Well, hey, have a great half term. See you next time. Bye.